Hello, and you are very welcome back to Davinci Resolve A to Z, your one stop for all things Davinci Resolve. And in today's episode, we take an in-depth look at the Hue versus Hue curve. So Hue versus Hue, well, what does that versus mean? This applies to any of the versus curves. The first thing is what you are selecting, and the second one is how you are adjusting that selection. So in the case of Hue versus Hue, what that means is you are selecting a hue or a color and you're going to adjust that hue or color. So basically taking a color and changing the color. We've done our primary corrections to this shot already. Alt S will add a new node and we'll start looking at Hue versus Hue. So what's the objective? What are we going to use Hue versus Hue for in the shot? Well, for me, what I'm going to do is we're going to take these green blades of grass and we're going to make them look like these dried out dead blades of grass that are kind of like that orangey, yellowy, browny color. And to do that, we will use Hue versus Hue. So you can add points if you want all day long on the curve and make the adjustments you feel like making. But it's not very precise. There's times that you may need to do that. But in a case like this where you're looking at the image and there's a specific color you want to get, you can, like any other curve, use the Qualifier Tool to very specifically select what color you would like to be selected. And when you clicked on that, you can see we got 3 points. The middle point is the actual hue I selected. The other points on either side are just placeholders, all of which can be adjusted. You can either adjust them on the graph itself by dragging around. I don't like to do that, especially with this middle point or actual selection, because if I just start going up and down with that, it's very easy for it to slip left and right and change the actual selection. So what I like to do instead is use the tools down here. So Hue Rotate will push it for me perfectly up and down, not moving left and right, so not actually changing the selection. Similarly, Input Hue is exactly that. We can change the input of the hue, but that's going to change the selection. Now where this comes in handy though is moving these placeholders, which we'll get to later. So with the middle, aka our selection selected, we can adjust the input hue. So what's actually happening when we move this dial or we move that point up and down on the graph itself? Well, if I go really extreme, it's turned that selection purple, which means if we look at a color wheel, now pretend this isn't a gain wheel, we're looking at just the color wheel side of things. We had something that was green and we pushed it way up, it became purple. So it went around and became purple. So if I'm way less extreme with that, we'll just bring it roughly reset. If I'm way less extreme than that, if I start pushing it in that direction, we'll come around to a orangey, yellowy. If we go too far, we'll go red. If we go not far enough, we'll just be in a different shade of green. So we'll start doing that nice and subtly. And you can see we started making a lot of those shades turn into more of a Control D to turn that node on and off. We've started to turn a lot of those shades of green into that kind of orangey, yellowy brown. So that's a really good start. Now what is happening here though is you can see, looking at this graph here, that we're selecting a very specific shade of green and that's getting a full adjustment. And then that adjustment rolls off to no adjustment value by this shade of green and this shade of yellow, which means anything this side, so all our other shades of yellow and reds and all these other shades of green slipping into teal and into blue onwards, are getting no adjustments. And that means a lot of these shades of green are escaping the adjustment, and especially like back here, there's a really vibrant bit of green back here that's escaping that adjustment. So maybe we select that and we go, oh, there's that shade of green. So we adjusted by 28.05. Let's also adjust that by 28.05. And automatically we have more shades of green slipping into that adjustment. But there's definitely more fine tuning that can be done. Let's see what happens if we start moving this point across. A lot more shades of the green start slipping into that adjustment. Let's move this point across a bit more. A lot more shades of green. We could go almost as far as here actually and not worry about it, because there's not a whole lot of blues. It's only in the sky that we have some blue slipping in. So if we went as far as there, we make sure that we have a nice broad selection of those green values selected with that much of an adjustment to its hue. And now we have a nice adjustment where not a whole lot of greens are escaping that adjustment. We might even go add one more point there and go 28.05. And now we have a nice adjustment that's getting most of those shades of green. Now you could go really fine tune this, spend a bit more time on it and really dial that in. But for now and for tutorial's sake, I say let's leave it at that. You get the point. You can select a hue, you can adjust it. You can have these placeholders be really tight together and have a really precise adjustment, or you can space them out and have more shades of hue getting the adjustment that you have made. So we'll leave it at that. So that's hue versus hue. We're going to move on to hue versus saturation next. So if you're finding these curve tutorials helpful, be sure to stick around for that because they're all really powerful tools. And I know that when I discovered what they did, they're the type of tools that, you know, once you knew what they did, you realize that there is so many situations where you could have done with that tool and you will find yourself using them a lot. They're really, really powerful tools.
I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Did I miss something that should have been covered in this tutorial? Let me know in the comment section below so I know to cover it in a future video. And of course, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on future uploads. My name is Lee Dalton, this is Davinci Resolve A to Z. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.